What if the exhaustion you feel isn't from doing too much, but from carrying what was never meant to be yours? Listen closely. If your soul feels tired, not just your body, you're not weak, you're not broken, and you're not failing God. There is a weariness that sleep cannot fix, a tiredness that settles deep in the chest. It shows up when the room is quiet, when the prayers feel heavy, when worship feels distant, even though you still believe. You wake up already worn. You go through the motions, but something inside you feels thin, drained, like you're running on fumes spiritually. And you wonder, what's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you, but something is happening within you. You've been strong for too long, faithful while hurting, obedient while empty, smiling while silently asking God for relief. And God sees it all. He sees how you kept going when you wanted to stop, how you kept trusting when answers didn't come, how you carried responsibility, guilt, expectations, and unanswered prayers, all at the same time. Your soul didn't grow tired overnight. It grew tired slowly, quietly, from carrying unseen weight. And this is where God gently reframes the pain, because what feels like burnout is often an invitation to stop surviving and start abiding again, an invitation to lay down what you picked up in self-protection, an invitation to return to rest, not physical rest, but spiritual rest, the kind Jesus spoke of when he said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Notice he didn't say, "Come when you've figured it out." He said, "Come when you're tired." So let's talk about what's really happening beneath the surface. Here's the first revelation. God is revealing where you've been pouring out without being filled. You've been giving, serving, helping, supporting, praying, but not receiving. You learned how to be strong, but forgot how to be still. Even Jesus withdrew to quiet places to pray. If the Son of God needed to step away to be refilled, why do we think we can live emptied? Your soul is tired because it has been leaking compassion, energy, and faith without being replenished by God's presence. The second revelation is this. God is exposing emotional burdens you were never meant to carry. Some of what weighs you down isn't spiritual attack. It's emotional overload. You're carrying other people's expectations, other people's outcomes, other people's healing. But Galatians reminds us that each person must carry their own load, not yours. Moses learned this the hard way. He tried to lead an entire nation alone, and God had to send counsel to say, "This is too heavy for you." Your exhaustion is not a failure. It's feedback. Here's the third revelation. God is calling you out of striving and back into trust. Somewhere along the way, faith became effort. Prayer became pressure. Obedience became fear-driven. You started trying to maintain what only God can sustain. Psalm 127 says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain." Your soul is tired because you've been building without resting in the builder. And God is gently saying, "Let me carry this again." The fourth revelation goes even deeper. God is pruning your inner life, not punishing you. Pruning feels like loss, like silence, like delay. But Jesus said every branch that bears fruit is pruned, so it can bear more. Your tiredness is not rejection, it's preparation. God is removing old mindsets, old fears, old ways of relating to Him that were based on performance instead of love. And that kind of inner work is exhausting, but it is holy. Listen to me now. This season is not meant to break you. It's meant to bring you back. Back to simple trust, back to quiet confidence, back to a faith that breathes instead of strains. Your soul is tired because God is doing deep work, and deep work always asks you to slow down. Stay here, because what God is about to do next is not just restore your strength, it's going to restore your joy. Because here is the turning point. God is not asking you to push harder. He is inviting you to come closer. Listen, right now, God is doing more behind the scenes than you can feel. What feels like silence is actually recalibration. What feels like emptiness is space being made for something new. You are not spiritually tired because God left. You are tired because He is changing how you relate to Him. Before you ran on momentum. Now he is teaching you to live on presence. Before you relied on discipline alone. Now he is drawing you into dependence. Isaiah 40 says, "Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, not those who rush, not those who prove, those who wait." Waiting isn't wasting time. Waiting is where strength is rebuilt. Here is the next revelation. God is restoring your soul, not just your schedule. Some of you tried to fix spiritual fatigue with time off, but the tiredness came back because your soul doesn't need distraction. It needs attention. David understood this when he wrote, "He restores my soul." Not your productivity, not your image, your soul. God is meeting you in the quiet moments you've been avoiding, in the stillness you've been filling with noise, because restoration happens where honesty lives. Here is another truth you need to hear. God is teaching you that rest is an act of faith. Rest says, "God, I trust you to work while I stop." Rest says, "I am not my output." Rest says, "My value is not measured by exhaustion." Hebrews reminds us that there is a Sabbath rest for the people of God, not a day, a posture. And when Israel tried to gather more manna than they needed, it spoiled. God was teaching them dependence, not hoarding. Some of your tiredness comes from storing fear for tomorrow instead of trusting God for today. Now listen carefully. This season becomes your testimony. One day you'll look back and realize this was the moment your faith became deeper, not louder, softer, but stronger, quieter, but unshakable. You'll realize God wasn't taking things away. He was taking weight off. And you'll say, "I didn't lose my faith there. I found it again." So hear this encouragement slowly. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to explain your tiredness. You don't have to pretend you're strong today. God is near to the weary, close to the burned out. Present with the exhausted believer who still shows up. He has not missed you. He has not overlooked you. He has not wasted this season. Even now, he is breathing life into places you thought were empty. So here is your declaration. Say it softly if you need to. God is restoring my soul. I will not strive. I will trust. And let this be your blessing. May peace replace pressure. May rest quiet your mind. May God's presence feel close again. May your strength return, not all at once, but faithfully, daily. And may your tired soul discover that it was never abandoned, only being led home. If this message spoke to you, stay connected. There is more strength being forged within you than you realize. Subscribe and walk this journey with us here on The Forge Within. Your restoration story is just beginning.